Thank you for checking out my channel. I am playing Kingdom Hearts. Why I wanted to make this video, I wanted to essentially talk about what I wanted for Kingdom Hearts 4 and what I've been hearing about Kingdom Hearts 4 that I wanted and would not want. So I'm just gonna dedicate this video to this because for Mount Olympus, we all know what's gonna happen in Mount Olympus. It's basically the same thing. It's the games and blah 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 blah. But anyway, I just want to use this time to talk about Kingdom Hearts 4 and what I want and what I would not want. So the first thing I do want is for Disney to start finishing all their properties, like their own properties, like they've made themselves. Like for instance, Moana, Treasure Planet, all of these stories that Disney have made. I want them to finish those up before they move on to like bigger titles. And this, I might get a lot of controversy for saying this, but I'm probably one of the only people who don't want Star Wars or who don't want Marvel in the game, because Kingdom Hearts is its own little universe, and you're basically mixing one universe with another universe. And if you put Marvel in there as well, then you're gonna have to ask yourself, okay, well, does the Empire know about Thanos, and why is Loki and Thanos trying to attack Manhattan when there's a bigger threat that can destroy planets out there that they should be taking care of? Like, if the Galactic Federation, I don't know what the whole thing in Star Wars is called, but if that empire is known throughout the galaxy, don't you think that at least one planet other than Tatooine, if that has been teased, if one other planet that has been teased, don't you think that they would know, that the people on that planet would know about the Galactic Federation? For example, if you put, let's say Moana, if they put Moana in there, don't you think that Moana's world would have been visited by the Galactic Federation, since they're in the same whole universe thing? And another thing, if that is the case and they do put Star Wars in there, then are the Star Wars characters going to help Sora fight the Lost Masters? Because if Star Wars is in there, then it's not really that much of a no-brainer of how to get rid of the original 13 Darknesses. Just put all that's left on a planet and then have the Death Star destroy it, but that's not really good for story. So you can't just say Star Wars doesn't know about the outside world, because obviously Star Wars knows about the outside world. If Sora causes a problem within the Empire, and Darth Vader finds out about Sora, don't you think that I would think the Sith Lord or some higher up person above Darth Vader is going to have a hunt out for Sora throughout the planet? So the Lost Masters will be the least of Sora's problems. Yes, the Lost Masters, which defines the entire arc after the Darkseeker saga, the Lost Master saga, that will be the least of Sora's problems when he has an entire empire looking for him, if they do decide to put Star Wars into Kingdom Hearts. Like, I do want these bigger titles in there, but I also want it to make sense, you know? Like, if Star Wars is in there, I would say, okay, when Sora goes to Quadratum, that is a planet within the Star Wars universe, because Kingdom Hearts really isn't big enough to be bigger than the Star Wars universe. You can't say, yeah, let's just put a planet on there, because everyone on that planet knows the existence of other worlds, and more than likely some of those people on those planets have access to go to other planets. So I would think one of those AT bots or whatever is going to be on other planets. So I'm thinking to myself, why are they on this planet, on Tatooine, when they can't be on any other planets, like Treasure Planet? If they put Treasure Planet in there and Star Wars, it's like, okay, they have to have known about each other, because they're both in space, obviously. So I really don't want Star Wars in there. If they do end up putting Star Wars in there, I would be satisfied with like a summoning or a Keyblade that you get by synthesizing or whatever. But making an entire world and making Star Wars is already huge, massive universe a part of another huge, massive universe is going to end up being a problem. So if you put Marvel in there as well, it's just going to be a lot of more questions. Like, for instance, why is it that you can put Manhattan, wasn't it Manhattan? No, it was New York. Why is it that you can put New York in the game when the because the events of the attack on New York happens in the Avengers movie, and it takes place in New York, but for Lilo and Stitch, anytime we see Lilo and Stitch, we see Stitch on a plane, so we don't get to actually meet Lilo. We just see Stitch. We don't see Earth. Because I would think, since this is like a fantasy thing, you can't imply that Stitch is on planet Earth. So I don't think they would say, oh, we're going to New York. I mean, Quadratum could prove like the existence of, other countries. Like they can say, oh, New York is basically in a state called the U.S., just like across the sea. But then you have to place Quadratum in the world too. Like, where would Quadratum be? I mean, you can put it in like the middle of the Pacific Ocean, because if New York is on there, then you have to assume that they're in the same galaxy as Earth. That means Sora can go to Earth as well. So I do kind of want them in the game. It's just that if you put Star Wars in there or you put Avengers in there, it won't make sense. Like just saying, oh, look, darkness and the dark side of the Force. Like, yeah, those go hand in hand, but the difference is that none of the worlds in question, like none of the worlds like The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, fucking...
Wait, let me guess. You want to enter the games, right?
Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean is like one of the more realistic ones.
A pass?
But I would assume
It's all yours.
none of the
Good luck,
places
kid.
we're going to
I'm pulling for you, little shorty.
real. The Caribbean is real, but I don't really think Port Royal is real. That's like a real location. That's why they haven't done Pocahontas, because Pocahontas is in fact a real thing. Like, I think even though they want realistic graphics, I don't think they want to put them into the real world, because again, Quadratum isn't a part of the real world. Now, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, we see Sora looking upon he sees the 4 or 5, which is obviously a thing. So that could say that, oh, Sora is in Tokyo, and Quadratum is somewhere in Tokyo. That means he's in Tokyo somewhere. But then, if you put in an Avengers world, that means that if the 405 building is real, that means Tokyo is real. If Tokyo is real, that means New York is real, and you can put Sora in there. And then that would make somewhat sense of traveling wise, that he can just travel there by ship to go all the way to New York to help the Avengers. But then, if that's the case, then the Avengers obviously come to Quadratum and help Sora with the Lost Masters. Like, there are many people stronger than
Come on!
they can obviously take care of this. If the world was being created by darkness, I would assume the first people who would hear saying that, why is it
Come on!
as much of it? Why is it this how much bigger power the Avengers darkness has been sprouted here? I would assume Sora has been out for like a week, and then if this is the first time darkness has spawned there, okay, I get that. But if they spawn like 2 or 3 times before Sora got there, and the Avengers still don't know about that, I'm like, okay, well, so
Come on!
those are things that would make sense. Because if they made 4 or 5 that is real, that means Tokyo is real, and that's why America and New York. So the thing is, if they decided to go with the Avengers, population. That would make sense. Because, like, okay, not Sora. Thanos wipes out half the universe, and none of Sora's people end up dying just by sheer luck. So, Star Wars and Marvel both
Come on!
like Marvel
Come on!
Thanos also has Star Wars and Marvel. Why is it that the Death Star when you can just keep you have to know that if the Avengers go in space, also, why is it that the Empire can't reach the Infinity Stones? And also, why is Thanos trying to just wipe out half the planet? And why is he just trying to go for 6 Infinity Stones to destroy half the planet's population when the planets are being like taken over by the Galactic Empire? Also, if that was the case, would Thanos you'd never have to put that into 2, but you have to apply the and Marvel Cinematic Universe, Star Wars, it's a multi-galaxy. You would have to know that they take place in the same universe, which is going to be hard to do. That's going to be hard to say that. How do they not know about each other?
Fire!
One place.
Fire!
Both people go between both worlds.
That's the power of the Keyblade!
The Avengers don't know anything about the Galactic Empire, and the Empire doesn't know about Thanos. And Thanos snaps his fingers, that's about half the universe. Everybody one of those stormtroopers got I think it's Star Wars, but they could just have like a central science station where you can make a Keyblade or do a summoning. Like they did with Wreck-It Ralph. They made Wreck-It Ralph
Come on!
And they went from princess to being a wolf into a summon. I think that's what basically reference their because they couldn't really reference America because the majority, I would say 95% of the story takes place on Earth, but somehow put the entire world in Birth by Sleep.
That's the power of the Keyblade!
Stitch going to the ship. So they only explained the backstory. We were able to go into Lilo and Stitch's story. Nothing was very so that's what I'm
Here!
I'm just going to I want to incorporate it, but they have to make it so that they don't know about each other. There's no way they have access to each other.
Come on!
And if they put Sora into the game, or they're going to put Sora into the game, but if they put Sora and Moana's world and all these other worlds into the
That little
same
punk
game,
is your next opponent, okay?
I know Kingdom Hearts
Don't blow
has
it.
a
Just
plot
take him out.
that is hard to understand. But
The
at
great
this
god
point,
of the
if they
underworld
do
is
that,
afraid of a
it
kid?
just won't make sense.
Sorry, but my contract says...
I
The
know. You
Avengers
think I
have
don't
the
know?
ability
I wrote
to
the
go to
contract.
Sora.
I know it
Sora
says you're only
can,
required to kill Hercules in this tournament.
If Sora is
But you gotta
able
fight that
to,
kid to get to him. Come on. Hey, it's
if
like that
Sora
old goat
is able
says.
to go
Rule
to,
number 11.
What is it?
It's all
Go
just
to
a
each of
game.
these worlds.
So let loose and
I
have
highly
fun with
doubt
it.
that the other worlds can't do the same.
I mean, the casualties do along the way.
Because
It's no big
the
deal,
only
right?
time when I had a question about space travel in the game was with Lilo and Stitch. Like, oh,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen here and blah blah
Stiffer
blah.
than
Like
a
they're
Stitch
flying,
bag
and
on.
they just fly to another planet. Because
Suckers like him are hard to
the
come by.
Federation and Lilo and Stitch doesn't really have like beef with Sora, so they're not gonna chase him around the entire universe just to find one kid. So I mean, here's what I think is gonna happen. I think they're gonna put Star Wars in there and try to make it make sense. The only way to make Star Wars make sense, I would say, is to make Sora have some type of device that he can teleport from the galaxy. Because remember, this is a galaxy. So Empire the Empire basically is within a galaxy. Because the universe is bigger than the galaxy. But you have to show that Sora takes place out of another galaxy. So he has to have a way to travel between a shit ton of galaxies. Which, if you don't know how far away, it's a galaxy far away. I would assume that's like almost on the other side of the universe. So Sora has to have some method to travel to this location. Mind you, if he's in Quadratum, he doesn't have his spaceship. So he has to find another way. And also, here's what I do want. Because I've been talking about what I don't want. Here's what I do want, and here's something that I'm just wondering why it hasn't happened yet. If you guys remember from Birth by Sleep, and if you play Dark World, the characters have a little button on their either their arm or their wrist or their shoulder that lets them like the will fly through space. So I'm guessing Sora's gonna have this because that's something we travel through the So yeah, that was basically all I wanted to say. But for the words that were Kingdom Hearts, Tangled's already been done. No, I think Moana is a big one that I want. Because of Star Wars, I think it makes more sense. If they had to choose between the two, because they could choose both if they want, but Moana makes more sense to add into Star Wars. Like, look, here, like this is what I mean. You can say Star Wars has like the dark side of the Force. Darth Vader creating Heartless.
There was one
like
other rule.
I
forgot.
But at the same time, why does he need to create Heartless? They have basically a demon side I mean, I think he would want like the power, but when he faces Darth Vader,
Hey, Phil!
why would
Get
they
them
give
out of
Vader,
here!
Vader the ability to control Heartless rather than the Sith? And Moana, you can say that, okay, Moana, you land in the middle of the water, you can learn water spells from this place, and you can just say, okay, well, Te Fiti's heart was stolen, and then you have to get it back to them, well, back to Te Fiti, to turn Te Fiti back into his normal state. But then Te Fiti is now Tekka, doesn't have a heart, i.e. heartless, and you can learn water spells, and basically a Keyblade can be. A Keyblade can
I got
be.
2 words of advice for you. Attack!
A Keyblade can be Maui's book, or something like that. But the only thing that come out of Star Wars is lightsaber Keyblade. There is no element that can be learned from this.
Come on!
The only thing that you'll be able to do is get a lightsaber Keyblade. Fights for an entire world to put in. Even though the intellectual properties are popular, they would have to also make the story make sense. So,
Come on!
I mean, that's all I have to say about this. So, yeah, if you like this, please like, share, subscribe. We'll just wait until we hear more information about Kingdom Hearts. I'll see you guys later.